This is Stephanie with the Department of Natural Resources, and I'm going to introduce the Daily Record of Commercial Crabbing Report for 2013. There are some changes to the report this year, and you can print off copies at our website, listed right here on the form, or you can simply make Xerox copies ahead of time and use them throughout the season. In the mail, you received copies of this report and your labels for the 2013 season. It's important to use the labels because not only does it tell us your name and address and identify you by your license number, it also tells us exactly what month and year you're reporting for. Be sure to place your label in the area on the form before you send it in. The reports are due in our office no later than the 10th of the month for every month of the season, April through December, even if you do not harvest. If you cannot find your label, it's important to write the same information that we have on the label on your report, especially the month, the year, and your license numbers that we credit you for submitting your report on time. In the packet you received for the 2013 harvest season, along with your reporting labels, you also received this instruction sheet. It has all the information you need to complete the harvest reporting forms. And on the other side, it shows you a map that has the water area codes and the gear codes. In this example, we have a harvest report where the watermen actually did not go out and harvest. We have the label affixed to the report, and we're going to write did not crab right here where we would normally report the harvest. We'll come down to the bottom of the form, make sure to sign it, date it, making sure that we're sending it in time to get here by the 10th of the month. And be sure to make a copy for your records that you have a copy of what you did that month. In this example, we're going to show you how to complete a daily record of commercial crabbing when you do have harvest to report. You'll notice at the top of the form, we have our mailing address where you would be sending your form in. On this report, we already have our label affixed. If there is a change of address, you can write that information here on the label and we will update our database. Over here, you would start with your vessel registration number. That's either going to be the Maryland number, or you could enter your Coast Guard number there. On the left-hand side of the form, the first 6 numbers match the first 6 columns here. So for geared codes, you can look at the website and you would fill those out across the top. Here it's important to notice where you have to select your unit of measure for hard crabs. This is our most common mistake, either bushels, dozens, pounds, or each. Please select only one type, and that refers to the center section here for hard crabs. If you're reporting for soft crabs, those are reported by the dozen. And if you're harvesting peelers, those are only reported as each. Okay, now that April is here, we're going to get our form ready to fill out our daily harvest. We're going to give you some helpful tips to make it easier to report your harvest as the month goes along. Since you take off one day every week, either Sunday or Monday, I've gone ahead and crossed off the Sundays on my April report so I don't accidentally write harvest on those days. And because I know that April only has 30 days, I'm going to make sure I cross off the 31st to make sure I don't accidentally report an extra day of harvest. You'll be filling out your harvest report at the end of each day. And in this example, we're going to start off here with our gear. We're going to use crab pots. I'm going to have 180 crab pots that I harvest from on the 1st of the month. I'm going to be in the bay, so I'll write my water area code as 027. I'm going to be out for the maximum number of hours allowed for crab pots, which is 9. And since I was by myself, I had 0 crew. In this section for hard crabs, I have to be sure to make a choice for one unit of measures. I'm going to harvest by the bushel, and I took in 5 bushels of number 1s, 1 bushel of number 2s. Now when I come over to the 2 far columns, I need to remember that I'm reporting by the dozens for soft. So when I harvested 36 crabs, I actually harvested 3 dozen soft crabs. When I harvested peelers, I took in 26 peelers, but those are reported by each. So I'm going to write that as 26 peelers. Now it's the end of the month and we have a completed crab report and we're getting ready to send it in to DNR. I'm going to show you another helpful tip that will save you some time. In the areas where my information stays the same, I've simply drawn lines down the columns. I only record the change when I've changed, in this case, the amount of crab pots I'm using from 180 to 200. And here in the middle of the month, I switched from using crab pots to trot line. So now I'm writing 2,000 feet of trot line, and I've even switched harvesting from the bay to the Potomac. Because I'm using trot line, I can now stay out for 10 hours, and I brought a crew member with me, so I've recorded that as 1. I changed my hours to 8 and just simply lined through the rest of the columns. The other details I'm going to complete are over here on the side. The maximum number of crab pots I had in the water was 220. You can report your eels here if you harvested eels. In my case, I'm going to record my disposition. Of my catch, I sold 20% to the restaurants, 50% to the public, and kept 30% for myself. Remember that you need to choose one measure for the hard crabs. I'm going to go ahead and sign the form. And be sure I get it sent in before the 10th of the month. I'm also going to make sure that I make a copy of my report to keep for my own records. And up here at the top, I'm double checking that I have indeed selected 1 unit of hard crab measure, in this case bushels. And here at the very top of the form is the address that you would send your report to. Now that we have a completed form that's ready to send into DNR, I wanted to show you this box up here at the top of the form. It says, I will not crab for the rest of the season. If you realize partway into the season that you are indeed done for the year, you can check this box, and then you do not have to send in any more reports for that season. If you change your mind and begin harvesting again, you can start sending your reports and continue reporting from that point on.